Greetings, brothers. Welcome to the Blood Angels Commander channel.
They've been doing work for me, these Death Company, in a lot of different battles now. I'm being drowned out by the tunes. A sec. Aha. Is that better? Okay. Sorry. Good evening. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. So I missed 2 weeks ago because I got really sunburned, and I missed last week because I got really drunk. So this week I'm going to make up for it and actually do some painting. Good evening, Helen Phoenix. Good evening, Tacker, Rezio. The reason that I didn't realise the music was down was Mike seems a tad low. Can you turn me a tad up? Mike's on the normal volume. I'm probably speaking a tiny bit quieter than normal. I have my baby monitor on. It's very hot here. My kid has been waking up a bunch of times. So the reason. Okay. Alright. Music down more. Can I turn this mic up a tiny bit? Maybe. Hold on. Yeah, I can turn it up a tiny bit. Alright, try that. Sorry. But yeah, it's that's better already. Quick question for everyone that's taking a Leviathan or Contemptor along with the super heavy, a bad idea. Yeah, because I don't know how you'll have any CP. Go Leviathan and a Contemptor and a super heavy tank. I mean, yeah, I don't know if I love that. I think if you take a super heavy tank, you can maybe take one other Dread and a Tech Marine. I wouldn't really go much heavier into it than that, I think. Steven's working on a Primaris Dante, a Primaris Captain Body, Sangry Guard Wings, Axe Head and Infernal Pistol. Dante did okay for me this week, surprisingly. I never run Dante, but he did okay in the match this week. I still think I prefer my captain on a bike. I don't know if I hate Dante, but yeah, I mean, the captain on the bike, I just think, like, I think you've got more chance of surviving most of the time. I've been working today actually on my battle ready Sangry Guard video, so like I've spent a ton of time editing that video. It's almost done, probably going to be ready next week. So I'm going on holiday for like a few days next week. I've got like a thing with my family, and I've got a wedding to go to as well. But I've been trying to get a few videos prepared so that there'll be still content coming out while I'm away. So you guys shouldn't notice anything. Maybe you'll just notice that I'm crappy at replying to comments for a few weeks. But that's all it should be. Shouldn't really affect anything else. Good evening, Dirty Wizard. How are you doing? I'm really hoping we get Primaris Dante. How are you enjoying the Death Company, John? Got any notions of mixing them up anytime soon? No. Four hammers seems like the perfect number for me. I've run 4 hammers in multiple games now, Rezio. I don't have any. I mean, I'd like 5 hammers, but I also like keeping units reasonably costed. So I think 4 hammers. 4 hammers seems to do the damage that I need them to do. I mean, this week the 4 hammers killed 2 Chaos Knights, and I didn't even use my Chainsword guy. So I guess like if I'd had the 5th hammer, it would have just been totally overkill, and the 5th hammer would have been wasted. And I mean, they tend to die right after they fall on Fury, right? Like I don't typically spend CP to try and keep them alive with a refusal to die. So 4 hammers and then a cheap guy. I mean, maybe it would be better 4 hammers and a power sword, but I've sort of gone towards like 3 squads of Sangre Guard, and I mean 3 squads of Sangre Guard are really good. You know, it's hard to argue with 3 squads of Sangre Guard in terms of their power on the board. So keeping the Death Company reasonably cheap so I can do that has been good. But I've only played 2 games of Nephilim, so I mean I'm no expert. I need more games. I've got a game against Eldar, not Kev this week, like a more serious Eldar player, like a guy that's won a couple of RTTs with Eldar. So I got a new player on the channel for the first time in a while, and that should give me a bit more of a run out against the Eldar. You'll be using stuff like Swooping Hawks, which I honestly have very little experience against, so should be cool. Hopefully that'll be on the Wednesday this week. Good evening, Chris. Good evening, Anthony. Good evening, Turkey Blaster. I still want to call you Turkey Blaster, only your name's Turkey Baster. Or like Turkey Baster. Are you basting turkeys? You're going to finish Slamguinius and a Jump Librarian, a Kit Bash from the Cassius Librarian, sorry. Highland Phoenix put the power sword on his 5th Death Company today. I mean, I think it's good putting power swords on Death Company now. I think the extra AP is really nice. I guess it just comes down to how many points have you got to play with. Can you fit it in your army list? I guess maybe I'm just struggling a bit with my list. I've run double Redemptor 2 games in a row, and I do like double Redemptor lists, you know that? With or without Tech Marine. I think they provide a lot of value, Redemptor Dreadnoughts. I thought it sucked when they went up 10 points, but I guess Armour of Contempt probably makes up for that. So does anyone know if it's better to run aggressive against wolves or wait for the turn 3 power spike? Well, I just lost a tournament game against Space Wolves, Campbell. And if I'd beaten them, I'd have won the tournament. The video is on the site. It's called like Masterclass Part 2. If you search that, you got to be careful against wolves. They got lots of ways to make you fight last. They've got lots of 6-inch heroic interventions. They got units that fight on death. If you go aggressive into them turn 1 and 2, I mean, they also have units that go straight into Assault Doctrine. Like, they don't have to do anything, just some of their units are in Assault Doctrine from turn 1, so I guess just be careful. I suppose it depends on what their list looks like, but yeah, I think wolves are no joke. They're not bad at all. I think if I played wolves again, I might be a little bit more patient than I was. The Woven were a big problem as well, and the fight last that they've got can be a big problem if you don't know about them. Alright, you're named after the kitchen utensil. Okay, do you think Vanguard Vets are still worth it? I kind of want to paint them silver and give them Sangre Guard bits. I painted all my Vanguard Veterans gold. I don't know if I still think they're worth it. They were really good when Lightning Claws were all the rage, I guess, but like... Now there's a big question mark over them, and that their AP is pretty weak, right? I dropped my Vanguard Vets and I'm playing 3 Sangre Guard, and I'm going heavy on swords with my Sangre Guard because I feel like if you run into an army that's got Armour of Contempt, you really need swords. You really need as much AP as you can get, because even our swords at -3, you know, they still save on 5s or whatnot. Like, the way I look at it is like chainswords used to be pretty crap into power armor. You know, like, because it was just basically -1, and like you would run a squad of assault intercessors into another squad of assault intercessors, and you maybe kill like 1.5 guys. It was generally pretty crap. Well, I mean, that's what Vanguard Veterans with Lightning Claws are now, right? Yeah, sure, you can re-roll the wounds, but it's not that great. I actually don't know if anyone's running Vanguard Veterans with power swords. I haven't seen it, but I mean, I think the power swords are the same points as the Lightning Claws. I mean, there could be argument now to go power swords, right? Power Sword Death Company unit is a nice unit, but you balance loss of +1 attack with much better AP. I can see either working, but it depends on opposition. Thanks, Andy. Yeah, I'm doing well. Good evening. I think Power Swords Death Company are going to be a lot better than Chainsword Death Companies now. The +1 attack into the much more effective AP, I think, is almost like a no-brainer. I guess it really just depends on who you're fighting up against. Yeah, if you're fighting into orcs, maybe like chainswords are going to be better or something, but like, I think you need to... We're actually seeing a bit of a rise of armies with Armour of Contempt doing well at tournaments and stuff, right? So I think you need to have planned to play against Armour of Contempt, maybe. And if you plan to play against Armour of Contempt, then you know that you're going to need some decent AP to actually threaten them, right? Go all swords. I would go all swords, but I don't. I already have like 20 Sangre Guard that are made with axes. Red Rampage strat plays now. I've still never used that Red Rampage strat Highland Phoenix. I don't know if I've just forgotten about it. But the thing is, usually once you get to turn 3, if you've got swords, they're a -4. So even with Armour of Contempt, you know, those sort of units aren't getting a very reliable save. So I don't know if I feel value in that Red Rampage stratagem for 1 CP. I mean, does anyone use the Red Rampage stratagem? Has anyone felt like it's had a lot of value for them? I mean, it must have some value, but yeah, no, I've still never used it. So, I could be sleeping on it, I guess. Rerolling wounds is still good in transhuman stuff? Yeah, of course it is, but I mean, I guess the AP's a lot weaker, I guess. So I was running my Lightning Claw Van Vets for a little while. Like, I didn't think they were a horrible unit, but I did think that, like, I guess the way I used to play my Lightning Claw Van Vets was usually use them as like a threatening unit in turn 1 and 2, hoping that they'd be quite survivable with the Storm Shields. But with the only -2 in turn 1 and 2 before you get the Salt Doctrine up, I haven't found much value in them. And I feel like the Sangre Guard now, with their armor save, just survive better. So, based on the fact that the Sangre Guard are surviving better, and obviously they're kind of doing more damage as well. JT Money says, show some love and like the stream. Yeah, guys, I do always appreciate every like on YouTube. It's I actually looked back at my analytics recently, JT Money, and there's somebody, it's like one guy who dislikes every single video I do, because it's kind of funny, because I got like some videos where it's like, you know, 250 likes and 1 dislike, 100 likes and 1 dislike. So I was actually kind of thinking to myself, I was like, who's this one guy that dislikes all my content? And also, if he dislikes all my content, why is he watching? Like, you know, if you dislike it, just don't watch it. You know, I don't watch... My wife watches so much stuff on Netflix. If I don't like it, I just leave the room and don't watch it. But, I mean, it's what it is, I guess. I'm still quite happy to field some chainswords. I mean, I'm okay fielding some chainswords. I kind of always feel like chainswords are just chaff, aren't they? Like, it's hard to plan a strategy around a battle with, like, chainswords, isn't it? Because you're like... Yeah, I mean, like, if you think of assault intercessors, it's like, well, they maybe kill, like I said, they'll kill a marine. They'll kill a marine and a half. Maybe against something else they can kill some more, but like it's hard to plan strategy around a unit that it's supposed to kill and doesn't do that much killing. Good evening to Sweden, Gizmo. How you doing? Compare them to Assault Terminators. Both can take 2 Lightning Claws and a Thunderhammer and Storm Shield, but have different mobility and defensive profiles. Yeah, Assault Terminators are a weird one because, I mean, I was one of the few players in competitive play, I feel like, running Assault Terminators as Blood Angels, right? I ran them to, well, not even just Assault Terminators. I ran Terminators with Stormbolters to a tournament, a GT, and then I ran them Assault Terminators and RTT, and in both those tournaments I got to the final table. Like, if I won my final game, I won the tournament. So, but I really don't think many competitive Blood Angels players were taking Terminators, period, because Terminators are slow. They offset that with the survivability. When's the channel anniversary? It's actually on the 1st. So, well, my first video, I think I created the channel on the 1st of August, 2 years ago. Mold lines, I don't do mold lines, Dirty Wizard, come on, man. Where are you seeing mold lines anyway? I mean, there's a... Oh, and the Thunderhammer, yeah, okay, there's a little bit of mold lining on the Thunderhammer. Yeah, I see it now. So yeah, the channel anniversary is in like a week and 2 days. And that'll be the channel 2 years old, and it quite a bit over 10,000 subscribers now. That is way more than I ever had planned for 2 years, honestly. My plan, because originally when I started the channel, I had a goal of getting 1,000 subscribers after 2 years, so I'm pretty chuffed with how it's gone this last couple of years. So thank you everybody that's watched the videos and liked the videos and everything like that. I guess it really started as a hobby for me, doing the YouTube videos, but like it's kind of become like it is, it, you know, so like I used to do other things in my spare time. I don't really know what, like nothing major, but like all my spare time now pretty much I just do video editing, so it's become like a real passion project slash thing, I guess, for me. So it's cool. Wouldn't be here doing it without all you guys watching. What kind of troops are people running? Asked Ed. As a Blood Angel, I think your best troop choices are Incursors. Some people are running Infiltrators, some people are running Assault Intercessors, some people are running just regular old Intercessors, but my personal feeling is that the best troops we have are the Incursors. I just think they've got a lot of use in that they have 1 AP from their knives, they have a decent amount of attacks, you can smoke screen and transhume in them, which I did in the battle the other night. They can also relocate with guerrilla tactics pretty effectively, and they're very reasonably costed, I think. Yeah, they got bolters. The bolters don't do any damage, but in general I don't really think bolters do much damage this edition, right? Not cleaning mold lines. I threw these guys together so I had them ready for a tournament. I sometimes do actually clean mold lines. I remember when I bought my Intercessors, sorry, no, my Incursors actually, the unit we're talking about, had literally the worst mold lines on all of them than on any GW kit that I've ever seen, actually. Regular, like Space Marine Infiltrators, the mold lines on those guys was horrific. So yeah, no, I do actually clean mold lines sometimes, but yeah, these guys were like thrown together in the week before a tournament. I think I actually only played them once before the tournament, the Forlorn Fury Death Company, because I kind of stayed away from Death Company for a long time. But no, you guys convinced me to run them. I'm building all hammers so I don't have to drill the barrels. Oh man, you guys better be nice in the comments when my Battle Ready Sanguinary Guard video comes out, because I've been I've been spending a lot of time getting this battle ready Sangre Guard video ready. I actually painted a Sangre Guard from start to finish in a single day, which may not sound like an accomplishment, but when you get 2 kids under the age of 3, then it's a huge big accomplishment. I was so excited to paint a single model in like a day, and actually filmed the whole thing as well. So I've been video editing that now for like 2 weeks or something, so it's close, and like, you better be nice. And there's no drill barrels, and I really hope there's no mold lines visible. I'm hoping to get, well, I've bought a ticket to an RTT in like 6 weeks time, and I'm hoping to get to maybe a GT like early next year. Auto wounds on 6 is pretty decent from the infiltrators. Yeah, I mean, the auto wounds on the infiltrators is nice, just their weapons are strength 4, well, I guess the strength doesn't matter. The weapons have no AP, which, and like typically the only turn they'll have AP in is turn 2, which doesn't really help us, because like we kind of want to rush to Assault Doctrine, right? We very rarely stay in, I don't think I've ever stayed in Tactical Doctrine, maybe like 1 time. The Intercessor box had horrendous mold lines. It's time Bolters had an overhaul. Yeah, I think Bolters need an additional point of AP, honestly. You know, they're such an iconic weapon, and their damage at the moment, like even Storm Bolters on Terminators and stuff, is just kind of poor, I guess. Sangre Guard Bolters are like the only bolters that have any sort of killing power, I guess, with their potential -2 in assault, in tactical, but like, again, you're only in tactical for 1 turn, so I don't think bolters are in a great place, period, I guess. Good evening, Daniel, how you doing? Bolters are supposed to be armor piercing, but it's AP 0. Yeah, bolters in the lower are supposed to shoot like little miniature rockets or something, right? Like, it's not bullets that they shoot, it's like little, I don't know, because I remember Kev giving me like a breakdown. I'm not a big lore guy, you guys know this. I've read a few of the books, I've read a few of the stories in the codexes, but like, not the hugest lore guy. But yeah, I'm pretty sure bolters are supposed to be like little explosives that they're shooting that are supposed to like explode on impact or something, right? Someone will keep me right. The real question now with Eliminators is that, is another Phobos unit any value in a lib in Phobos? Is there? Oh, I guess you're asking like the Psychering Phobos armor. Is there any value in him? I don't think there is. I honestly think possibly the best power is Unleash Rage that we can have. Maybe Null Zone. Some people like Null Zone. I think it's fair to like Null Zone. I think it's a good power. I think I prefer Unleash Rage. I was gonna say, yeah, because like Andrew, when I played Chaos Knight this week, Andrew said to me, he was like, oh, this knight has such and such an ability that turns off your invuln saves, and I was like, Andrew, if you look at my army, I have 1 invuln save on my entire army. Like, Dante was the only model that has an invuln save, because like my Redemptors don't have an invuln, my troops don't have an invuln, my Sangar don't have an invuln, my Death Company don't have an invuln. Mephiston doesn't have, the Sangre Priest doesn't have, so yeah, like he's brought an ability. So I guess if we run into an enemy that's got Null Zone, and it's like, well, we actually don't have any invulns, it kind of makes Null Zone not that powerful, right? I mean, sure, they can invuln, they can Null Zone my 1 character that has an invuln. How do we want bolters to perform? I guess the way I see it is bolters should do some chip damage. I think at the moment, with all the changes that we've had this edition, I guess you could argue they can still do some chip damage, but like when you shoot a whole squad of like Sangre Guard bolters and you do like 1 damage, I don't know if I count that as chip damage. I feel like that's like, you know, that's like a lucky 1 wound. That's the same as the Whirlwind. I wouldn't class the Whirlwind as doing chip damage, right? The Whirlwind either does no damage or it takes a wound off someone. It's not chip damage. Chip damage would be like 2 or 3 damage, you know, like you're actually chipping away at things. I don't think bolters do chip damage at the moment. You personally like the bolters are less than 50-50 at killing a marine? I mean, I guess we'll see. I mean, I'm not the judge or jury on bolters. I can live with how they are right now. I just maybe feel a little bit. Well, I mean, it's probably why, you know, they brought in doctrines. Maybe it's just a case of our doctrines need to be a little bit more flexible. You know, if you think of like Admech and Necrons and all these other armies, how their doctrines or their equivalent doctrines are a little bit more flexible. Maybe ours just need a little bit of a flexibility update. But I mean, is Space Marine 2.0 still coming? Dirty Wizard is playing Death Guard tomorrow. First game in a few months. Oh, Death Guard are easy to beat though, Dirty Wizard, right? I mean, you must have watched how many games of me beating them on the channel? Use your speed against them. That's literally what Death Guard. That's literally how you beat Death Guard every time. Outmaneuver them. If they have a 10-man squad of Blight Lords, just don't go near them. Just avoid them, or you know, only engage them if you can 100% deal the damage. The Whirlwind is a very good unit in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, my Whirlwind always... People always make fun of me for taking a Whirlwind, and it's like the one thing that people think I'm an idiot. People think I'm taking the Whirlwind, I think, to do damage. And I'm like, no, the Whirlwind isn't there to do any damage. It's to prevent Overwatch, and it's to suppress something so that like one of my units can fight it first or survive. And I think as long as you think of the Whirlwind in that way, in shape, you know, you don't think of it as a damaging unit, and then sometimes it can perform actions, you know. On some of these maps where you need to hold the backfield, and if there's nothing that needs suppressed, then sure, do the action. Benno doesn't run the Whirlwind and think it's good. I keep thinking that I should drop the Whirlwind, but like, I don't know, I think it usually makes my backfield feel quite safe. You know, it is toughness 7, it does have 11 wounds, it's not like something that you can just get picked off on or something, and I think the ability to deny Overwatch or make fight last literally anywhere on the entire battlefield, I think it's good for Blood Angels. It's saved my ass a bunch of times, honestly. And sometimes if they've, you know, sometimes you just need a tiny little bit of firepower somewhere else and you don't have it. You know, you left one enemy model on an objective or something that's gonna hurt you. Sometimes the Whirlwind will deal with that. Mephiston is what people knock you for, Blood Angels Commander. Which is interesting. So like if I ran Astaroth, would people knock me for Astaroth? Because you know, like a lot of people like Astaroth for his litanies and his massive doom. I mean, if you're smart with your Mephiston positioning, Unleash Rage is arguably just the same value as massive doom, but it I was gonna say, but it can't be denied. It can't be prevented, or no, it can be denied. I was gonna say it can be more reliable because you can re-roll the psychic test. So if you really need a buff on like the Death Company in turn 1, I suppose the only thing you could do is you could Wiser Rater it. So you could Commanding Orator. You could pay the 2 CP to guarantee your massive doom cast, but. I mean, you're already paying quite a few CP to do Form on Fury. Do you really want to pay? Do you really want to have to pay CP every time for your massive doom? But yeah, I mean, people are entitled to run what they want to run, right? Like, just because I like Mephiston and just because I like the Whirlwind doesn't mean you have to run them. I actually think that, like, and this came up in one of the streams recently, I was like, maybe I'm not the most brilliant Blood Angels player, I just like things that can survive, and then I base my strategy around that. Maybe that's why I don't like Dante, because, you know, Dante can't just be thrown away, sort of like, you gotta be pretty smart with how you play Dante, right? Because he's not the most survivable character, and he could get picked off, killed very easily. So maybe there's something to be said about, like, you know, play what you think is strong and fits your playstyle. And I guess my playstyle is, like, sometimes I like my characters to be quite survivable because I'm just going to throw them in places that maybe normal characters would just get picked off and die. I've definitely had that a lot with my bike captain, right? Like, a lot of times enemy players have thought they'd be able to kill my bike captain very easily, and they've struggled. The Whirlwinds, for Sam, the Whirlwind killed a bunch of little demons. Yeah, I mean, the Whirlwind sometimes can kill things. If you're playing Death Guard and they got Poxwalkers, the Whirlwind will kill Poxwalkers, right? Better if you can see them, obviously, because you don't have to take that -1, but, I mean, it will kill them. Astrath is more important to stop Death Company failing morale. That's very true, James. I guess my problem is I just run 5 Death Company, and pretty much they always die in turn 1. They go in ham, they try desperately to trade up, and then they die. So, I mean, based on that, it kind of makes me think that, like, I don't know what I would, you know, like, there's no morale for me to fail, they're just gonna die. Astrath auto-include for Reziel if he's taking a 10-man squad of Death Company. Yeah, I would agree with that. If you're taking 10-man Death Company, you either have to have Astrath or a Chaplain, right? You need to boost their leadership. Leadership 7 is terrible. Especially into Chaos Knights, I guess, where they can do stuff like -3 leadership. I couldn't believe that, that Andrew was able to do -3 leadership, and if you fail your leadership test, 2 guys instantly run away. I was like, holy crap. Chaos Knights are good, I like them. Paired with Abaddon, I thought they were generally quite scary, but I always seem to find a way to win, right? I don't think, like, Dante vs Chapter Master, Astaroth vs Wise Orator Chaplain, or Meph vs First Bar Light meaningly affect win rate. What exactly do you mean by that, DTM? I take it you're trying to say that, like, if the player's smart and they know how to play, you think they can make any of those things work, right? And I think I tend to agree with that. I think that's what you're trying to say. Like, it doesn't necessarily matter if you take a Firstborn Librarian or Mephiston. As long as you're a good player and you know what you're trying to do, then both characters can perform. I think that's fair to say. I guess just the question is, after that, like, you know, like, do you want to make it a little bit easier on yourself? And I guess that's probably what I do with my picks. I pick things that are really survivable, so, like, if I ever get caught out of position, then I can survive maybe and I can fix that. So is anyone doing any hobby tonight? It's been a while since we've done a hobby stream. Let me know if you are doing some hobby. Gitli added a second unit of Death Company to his list. It felt so much better. What'd you give up to add the second squad of Death Company, Gitli? I think I'm gonna lean away from running the, like, well, I kind of already am doing it. I'm leaning away from running the all melee list. I feel like there's too many things out there that just counter that. And I don't like my list being countered. Do you do any conversions? Yeah, man. This channel actually started from me just doing conversions. That's where we began on this channel, with me doing, like, I think it was Outrider conversions or something like that. One of my favorite Death Company models was a converted. I made a Smash Captain. I made a Primaris Smash Captain, like right after Primaris has got released, and I put him on the bigger base size that they have Primaris Captains on, because I was convinced we'd have like a Primaris Jump Captain by now that would have like a Thunderhammer and Storm Shield. And yeah, he was one of the first conversions that I made. More recently, I've been trying to tackle a giant backlog of units, so I probably haven't done as many conversions as I could, but I am getting through my backlog. Hey Captain Clayster, first time catching the stream. Knight's detail on the Chalice. I'm gonna be tidying the crap out of this guy, like I tend to go, like, well, you'll see when I release this next painting video, I tend to just get base colors on the models and then I clean everything up. So it's why I have a giant backlog of stuff. I'm a pretty slow painter. Immediately gave up on the Vanguard Vets. I gave up on the Vanguard Vets as well, man. Robert's painting a Vindicator, then moving on to some Plasma Inceptors. I was thinking of buying a Vindicator Laser Destroyer. I don't know if I would run it right now, but I was thinking of getting one. It's a model I've had my eye on for like a very long time. I did see today that those new Leviathan Dreadnoughts came out, and what's nice, I don't know if you guys saw this on the Games Workshop site, is the cost on... Hey Phoenix, thank you so much for becoming a member. I really do appreciate that. Your support is very, very appreciated. I'm behind on my membership goal this month, but it's because I haven't streamed as much. It's summertime. We don't get very long summer in Scotland, so I guess I took an extra couple of nights, a couple of Saturday nights off, I guess. But thank you so much. If you link up your Discord account, if you link up your YouTube account to your Discord account, you can get into our members only room over on Discord, so you should totally do that, Phoenix. Oh, completely lost my train of thought. Vindicator Plasma Destroyer, Vindicator Laser Destroyer. Oh, that was it. The Leviathan Dreadnoughts. When you had to buy the weapons from Forge World, right? They were like, I think they were about £14 per arm. So like if you wanted like a drill and a claw, then you were like $20, and probably on Forge World you probably had to pay postage on that, so you're probably like $30. These new Leviathans, I noticed that you get both. You get two close combat arms, and both of them can be made into claws or drills, and like the cost of that is like £16. So from moving away from Forge World to these plastic kits, it's actually dropped the price of those. Chris, thank you so much. It's actually dropped the price of like the Leviathan arms by almost 50%, which is brilliant news, right? Because like those Forge World pieces were like super expensive. You know, like by the time, like if you previously bought a Leviathan and you brought 2 or 3 weapon options and stuff, you were up at like $100 or at least like $80, like very, very quickly. So I don't know about you guys, but like if you're, for me anyway, usually like on any given month, I don't really have much more than $80 to spend on Warhammer. So if you're gonna buy a Dreadnought, that's all you were buying, right? Whereas like the new price costs for these for the plastic Horus Heresy stuff. Just seems like way better. So I was really pleased to see that. I think they went on pre-order this morning. If no one's checked the Games Workshop website. But yeah, that seems good. That seems like a really positive change, right? So hopefully that means there'll be more like there'll be more plastic kits of Horus Heresy things, and they'll just be that much more accessible in terms of price. So I'm really happy about that. I mean, everyone was waiting sort of to see what would happen, but I think this is the best thing that could have happened. Dirty Wizard purchased some of the new contract paints from GW today. Going to test them out next week and did some samples in store. And the new Bal Red came up nice. See, I used Blood Angels Red a little bit. I've definitely used it in my Battle Ready video, so keep an eye for when that drops. It's probably gonna. I'm probably gonna need to edit it for like another week, so it's probably gonna be like first week of August. I think some of those contrast paints used right can be a pretty useful tool, actually. And Chris, thank you so much for subscribing. Sorry, you got me right in the middle of chatting. What's happened with Chaos Space Marines and the Vindicator? Did it go to toughness 9 or it got D3 plus 3 shots or something like that, DTM. Claystar, hey Blood Angels Commander, I was fighting against Tyranids and absolutely got my butt kicked. I played with the Combat Patrol and a Repulsor, and that's basically all I have. Any suggestions for anti-Tyranid Blood Angels units? Well, I mean, so if you search YouTube for Blood Angels Commander Masterclass, Captain Claystar, I actually played against like a really deadly Tyranids list at a tournament just last month. And I think on paper, before the game started, most people wouldn't have given me much of a chance, because Tyranids were they were just in a great place, rules-wise, points-wise. But I did take home the victory. I used sort of standard, like really standard Blood Angel stuff, like Death Company with Thunderhammers, like 2 squads of Sangry Guard, I think. Those Vanguard veterans we've discussed on the channel. Spotify Premium is less than John's Patreon on YouTube. That's very kind. I mean, Spotify Premium kind of is like all the music in the entire world. So the fact that I'm even in that same sentence, Chris, that's very kind. But yeah, no, I mean, Tyranids are great against Blood Angels in general, but like, as a newer Blood Angels player, you need to start picking up like this faction-specific strengths, or the strong faction-specific units, I guess. So that's stuff like your Sangry Guard, like your Death Company with jump packs. Army Painter Slaughter Red Speed Paint is quite nice. So I heard this thing about Army Painter paint. Those new speed paints that you can't ever paint over the top of them. Is that true? Does that make, like, the speed paints? I saw a video from like Goobertown Hobbies of him using the speed paints, and I mean they look great, but if you can't ever paint over the top of them, or you can only paint over the top of them if you varnish them or something, I was like, well, that's not going to work for me, I guess, because I make a million mistakes when I'm painting models, like I just did there. And then I have to go back with the original colours and tidy everything up. Chaos Space Marine Vindicators have D3 plus 3 shots. They have AP 4 and an extra wound. Oh, I didn't realise they got an extra wound as well. Cool. I mean, I guess the loyalists will get updated when Space Marine 2.0 comes out, whenever that is. But yeah, Tyranids are a strong army anyway, Chris. So if you're running like an unoptimized Blood Angels list, you're gonna, Claystar, you're gonna have some problems. But definitely consider picking up, like, I mean, pretty much like, I wouldn't say every month, but most months, I try and find people that won tournaments with Blood Angels I try and break down their lists on the channel, and I can show you real quick, right? Like if hold on 1 second, see if I can make this full screen. Let me just flick to my monitor a second. So if you come to the Blood Angels Commander website or channel, this is just like it's up here, like youtube.com/c/Blood Angels Commander. You scroll down to here, competitive army lists. This is like all the lists that in the last like year and a half, I guess, of like Blood Angels that have like, you know, this guy went 5-0 at a tournament, this guy gets 6th, this guy won a GT, this guy won a GT. Why isn't my video here where I came 3rd? God damn it, my video should be on here as well, because I came 3rd in a tournament. Apparently I didn't add it to this playlist. I'll add it to the playlist. I finally do well in a tournament and I don't add it to my own playlist. Yeah, on that playlist, I mean, if you should watch some of those videos and see what units you know, you'll see straight away like, hey, these last 3 lists all had like 2 or 3 squads of Sangre Guard, and they had these weapon loadouts, and they had a 5-man death company with Thunderhammers or something like that. You know, it's no coincidence that the people that are winning all the tournaments or doing well in the tournaments are running similar units, because they're picking what's strongest. So check that out. Greetings, Camille, how you doing? It's been a little while. I hope you're well. Watch out for eBay Dawnbreakers. I've ordered them twice from 2 different people and become broken. I did ask you for a list, Rezio. I was planning on doing a video about like my mods lists, because Mark and Tony gave me this idea that they were like, you should do a video on what your mods are running, like your YouTube mods, like what's in their army lists, etc, etc. And like, I liked the idea, but honestly I guess I don't want to say I've been unprepared, but I've just not got round to figuring out exactly what video I'm doing about it, Rezio. But I do appreciate you sending me the list. I guess I'll do something with it soonish. Maybe that's what I'll try and do this week. But no, thanks for sending me the list. One day I'll get onto the playlist. My current list is 10-1 in my last 3 tournaments. Gitly, yeah, whenever next time you perform really well at a tournament, please send me your list, and I mean, maybe we can even get you on the channel on a live stream or something if you did well. And I mean, we could probably get you on a live stream even if you didn't do well sometime, dude. You can message me. I mean, it's all well and good getting the best players in the world, if possible, on the channel, but like, you know, sometimes your normal, like, anyone that plays the same army a lot, I think, can add value to other players, right? I mean, that's how I started. I wasn't the best player in the world or anything like that when I started this channel. I was just doing a lot of, like, you know, everybody else was playing 2 or 3 armies, and I was like, well, I just play Blood Angels. And I got 2 kids, so I don't know how I would ever have time to play or paint a 3rd army, or a 2nd army, so to speak. I think the reason I said 3rd army there is because I kind of have a Star Wars Legion army. And I guess that's my 2nd army, but I haven't played Star Wars Legion since before coronavirus hit, so like, for basically like, and probably since I started this YouTube channel, so I guess I've not played Star Wars Legion in like 2 years. I do like it though. I mean, you guys know that I like Star Wars in general usually, and you know, so I think Star Wars Legion is a decent game. I'd like to have more time to play it, but I'd like to win some 40k tournaments before I do that. Evening all, good evening Nicholas, how you doing? Love it, roast the mod, says JT Money. Yeah, it wasn't really planned to be a roast. It was more just because I guess my mods are like serious Blood Angels players that know what they're talking about or know what they're doing. So it was more to try and see if there was like trends within the mods lists that like, I guess just because for in some ways, I guess Nephilim's still kind of new, right? So like we don't know exactly what everybody's thinking with Nephilim, or we're just trying to pick up on some trends. Alright, Gitley. DTM has spoken. You need to get a top 3 finish or you're not allowed to come on the channel. No, I'm not serious. Let's hook it up at some point. It's the middle of the summer, so I'm trying to do a lot of stuff with my kids because, like I said, we don't get a lot of summer in Scotland. We literally get sort of summer in Scotland starts at the end of June and it's pretty much gone by the first week of September. So like we're right bang in the middle of that. But like beyond that, we could definitely get you on the channel for a bit to have a chat about Blood Angels, because you do go to a lot of tournaments, Gitley, and I know for a while there you were one of the highest players in the UK. You probably still are pretty high in the UK, right? Rank wise. Andrew accused Resil of being a netlist player. Andrew has Andrew's netlisted so many lists in the last year or so. Like I don't know if I don't think he would accuse someone of being a netlist player. I mean, like, if anything, he would just admit that he is a netlist player. Yeah, you finished last IT season as a top UK Blood Angels player. Right on, dude. Well, there you go, DTM. Is that good enough for you, the top Blood Angels player in the UK? Is he allowed on the channel now? I don't know when you became the voice of authority of who's allowed on the channel, DTM, but it seems like it's happened. Oh, it's fun to get on a stream with you guys. It's been... I'd stream more often if I could. It's just kids, man. I'm sure you guys... I was basically in the emergency room the other night with my kid as well for like 4 hours, and then she fell and like her tooth went into her lip and like cut it really bad, and after like waiting 4 hours at the emergency room, they literally glued her lip back together, and I was like looking at them when they were like gluing her lip back together, thinking like, man, I got loads of glue at home, you know, like, and I'm pretty good at gluing things. I wish I'd known that, but I suppose it would have been like specific medical glue. It wouldn't have just been any old super glue, right? But yeah, fun times. But you know, the Sangregard video that I've got coming out, actually, he is a conversion. So like, he's a Death Watch Sangregard. Do you know what, you were asking me about conversions earlier, like, look at this guy. This is a conversion. This guy used to be in the Sangregard, because he's wearing the Sangregard death mask, and he used to be in the Death Watch, because he's got the Death Watch shoulder pad. But since all that, he's now fallen to the Black Rage, so he's part of the Death Company. So I do little conversions here and there whenever I get a chance. I like giving the models a little bit of like flavor, something like that. John starting to sound like an American with our piss poor healthcare. I mean, our healthcare is free, so there's that. But still, I mean, there's your drawback of free healthcare, in that I had to wait like 3 hours to get her lips super glued because it was busy as all crap, I guess, at the ER. No, I mean, it's free, we pay taxes for it, right? It probably was super glue, says Robert. Yeah, it would have been funny if they'd brought out like Gorilla Glue and I would have been like, God damn it, I could have done this at home 4 hours ago and not lost my entire evening. We had like a rule at the emergency room as well here that like you have to wear a mask still. And of course there's someone like sat in the emergency room not wearing a mask and coughing. And you're just like looking at them like, are you an idiot? But yeah, I guess that's another story. Every match on stream is a rematch from some underground game. Put gold scratches. Oh right. Put gold scratches where the bits ripped off. I like that idea as well. I bought a Deathwatch sprue. You can get like a, you know, the little like Deathwatch upgrade sprue for like $6 or something. I just bought one of them because I thought to myself, like, I've never done any Deathwatch guys, and there's nothing. I think it was Angels of Death, that Warhammer Plus TV show, that sort of got me thinking, like, hey, you know, they've got a Deathwatch guy in that TV show. Like, why shouldn't I have some guys? So I actually want to make a couple of Deathwatch Terminators, or like, well, they would be Deathwatch Terminators, but you know, they've returned to the Blood Angels or whatnot from the Deathwatch. So in that Deathwatch shoulder pad thing, you get a bunch of the regular shoulder pads, and you get, I think you get 2 Deathwatch shoulder pads. So I plan to do that at some point. I just don't know exactly when. Joel Davis says, Jesus, man is so good at painting. Are you talking about me? Am I good at painting? Very kind of you, Joel. I always think of myself as maybe like a battle-ready painter. I mean, I enjoy making the guys look good. And thank you so much for the super chat. I don't know why I didn't read it out. I think it's got to be over $5. If you paid one more penny, it would have read out the super chat. I will read it out though, because $4.99 is a big deal. Thank you. Thoughts on a big block of Terminators or Blade Guard with Impulsor, says Clown Mode. I prefer the Terminators over the Blade Guard. The Terminators are more survivable. Blade Guard got hit pretty hard, I think, with the Armor of Contempt change. Right, like, because they don't have Armor of Contempt, because they've got the Storm Shield, I think, like, we haven't seen any Blade Guard for Blood Angels really since that happened. Like, a lot of people went towards dropping Blade Guard vets and going more Sangre Guard clown mode. So I think Terminators are definitely a better choice than Blade Guard. And also Impulsors. I've got an Impulsor. I've run it a bunch of times. It never seems to survive that well. It kind of becomes a bit of a bullet magnet, and if you're looking for like, if you're looking to it to deliver your Blade Guard, I mean, maybe it can, but I think you're better with the new changes to Deep Strike, or the charging from Deep Strike with the terrain rules. I feel like you're much more likely to be able to get Terminators in, because now you can basically make like a 7-inch charge, and you could pay some CP to reroll that. So like, I don't like big blocks of Terminators though, and I think there's I keep playing against like Death Guard, and last week it was World Eaters and stuff. They run big blocks of Terminators, and I think with like, our strength as Blood Angels is speed. Terminators are not fast. So 10-man is easier to screen against like a big blob of Terminators, obviously, right? Because they need a bigger footprint to come down. And if you ever bring them, if you can't bring them down in a good position, then they're potentially stuck in that position, you know. And even a 5-man squad of Terminators, if they get stuck on one side of the board, they can potentially be out of the game for a couple of turns because they're just so damn slow. 5-inch move, advancing. You know, if your Terminators are just advancing across the board... Oh god, my daughter's up. I'm going to be right back. 1 second. Just have to put her back down. 1 sec. Alright, sorry about that. I might have to go again. She's wanted to move from her bed to my bed, so Joel had Warhammer Imperium, but it got way too expensive. I think Warhammer Imperium's good value, but I guess like it gives you a lot of models that you potentially don't need, right? I find it hard enough to keep up with my one army, let alone like have Warhammer Imperium send me models for like 4 different armies every month or something. I suppose it depends on how hard you go in the single army. Like I think I maybe don't have every single available Blood Angels unit. There's a few of the new tanks and stuff I don't have, but I have a lot. So yeah, my thought would be if you want to run Terminators or Bladeguard Veterans Clown, get a 5-man squad and either run, I think, Assault Terminators, Relic Terminators with Lightning Claws, or Terminators with Chain Fists. I think you can make all those things work. But I don't think big blobs of Terminators is the right call. I think you want... I mean, they eat up an elite slot as well, right? Sergeant Carzon from Angel of Death is a Death Watch veteran. That's where I got my inspiration from. Your average Bladeguard unit can dish out comparatively offensive with Sanguinary Guard. There's still an extra zone control count. Yeah, I think Bladeguard veterans... If you want like 3 Bladeguard veterans hold an objective on your side of the board, I think that's totally valid. I think 105 points, I think they're super survivable if you have them in cover or something like that. I think it's great. If you want to use Bladeguard veterans offensively, I don't think it's great. But have I picked up the Storm Speeder yet, James? It's on the list. I was thinking this month I need to get like there's 3 things I'm needing. I'm needing a pot. I'm actually needing 3 sprays. I'm needing a Corax White, I'm needing a Mephiston Red, and I'm needing another one of black. And then I was thinking Eliminators, just because everybody is running Eliminators. And then I was thinking that Storm Speeder. I think that's what I need to get. Vanguard Veterans on 3 wounds makes a lot of offensive weapons inefficient. Makes some. The new white scar spray is nice. Yeah, how does it compare to Corax White then? Was it called Corax White? Because it used to be Skull White and then they changed it, right? And now it's, what's it called? It's White Scar or something? Because I was probably just gonna get the new white spray, to be honest. I don't know if I need to match the old white spray. The Storm Speeder is deeply frustrating. It's deeply frustrating, but you want me to buy it. Okay. I think you're just you just want me to have to deal with pain, don't you? Which speeder variant? I was thinking of getting 2x Thunderstrike, but not sure if I could, says 2 Scoops. I think the variant that we're seeing get played in competitive play, 2 Scoops, and I forget which one it is. I think it might be the Thunderstrike. There's one that's got Ballistic Skill 2, and I think that's the one that people are that's seeing play. I think it's seen play by some of the guys over at Art of War. But I think it's not a Blood Angels list that's seen play. When I got into the hobby, I was told to avoid Corax White Spray at all costs, says DTM. I've always used it, man. I've used it since it came out, I guess, and before that I used the Skull White Spray as well, 100%. Sometimes you can get bad cans of spray and stuff, because like, I've never had so many problems with the white spray, and then you have to watch with humidity when you're spraying as well. The Thunder is the Ballistic Skill 2 one, yeah, so that's the one that's getting some competitive play. So I think if I was going to make a Storm Speeder, which I think I will at some point soonish, just because I'd like to give it a whirl. I think it's going to be the Thunderstrike, I guess, right? You hope they drop down to 9 wounds next codex. I mean, the no profiling would certainly help them, wouldn't it? They could always drop them to like 9 wounds and give them like sort of the same thing that the Flyers have, like hard to hit, -1 to hit or something, right? And then that would kind of maybe balance it, I guess. How easy is it to magnetize the weapons on those Storm Speeders? Anyone done it? But yeah, I'm really on the fence with Eliminators at the moment, because like some people have obviously, like a lot of people have gravitated towards Eliminators. And I have 2 squads of them already, but like I just don't think I see them fitting with my playstyle. Maybe, I mean, I think if I was gonna run like shooting units, I'd run the Eliminators over the Eradicators, because like I find Eradicators are kind of hard to play. Or play effectively, maybe is the right way. I think it's just their 24-inch range. It means you're always going to be moving them, it feels like. Magnetized them, had 3 all magnetized, then sold them. Okay. I need to get some more magnets. Yeah, Eliminators are a weird one. They really make you think that they should perform really well, but I don't see those Storm Spears being very important to any Blood Angels lists. Who knows in the future? Yeah, I mean that's the main thing though, right? Who knows in the future? That's why like I tend to never get too upset if I buy something and it's not competitive right now. Like I just, you know, the Codex swing, like, you know, at the start of 8th edition, if you said you'd see Blood Angels players running Centurions, everybody would have laughed at you. And now, you know, a bunch of the top players were running 5 Centurions, I guess. Who saw that coming? Nobody, I guess. I don't really love that Centurion list, to be honest with you guys. I mean, I ran Centurions way before, but I don't love it. I've already got 3 Assault Centurions, and I'd magnetized them as well, so I could run that list fairly easily. I just need to buy 1 box, but I don't think I'm gonna. This hammer does have a horrible old line on it, doesn't it? Evening, Chris. I'm doing good. I have a gaming tomorrow against Imperial Guard, tempted to run a small assault squad with 3 plasma pistols, charged with Thunderhammer and an Eviscerator. I mean, assault squads don't really get that many attacks. I mean, the only reason I can see to running assault squads is if you're going to do actions with them, or if you've already filled up all your elite slots, right? If you're looking at them as a damaging unit, I'm not sure I agree that they're a damaging unit. Like, the regular guys only have 1 attack. I mean, how many more points is a Vanguard Veteran and you get like an extra attack? Like, I get that some people are really excited about assault squads because you can use them for actions and all sorts of stuff now, but yeah. Atlas says they're worse Vanguard Veterans than for damage. Yeah, I mean that's kind of how I view them, I guess. If you want to take them to do actions and maybe provide some light harass, I mean, I guess that's fine, but they're not really you know, against Imperial Guard. Probably be better just taking Death Company with chainswords to chew through all the chaff units, and then take like Sanguinary Guard or Death Company with hammers to like actually blow up their tanks. Yeah, I don't disagree. I don't think it's a bad idea to have some assault squads. Like, you got a plan for assault squads, but they're not a damaging unit, right? I mean, they could do chip damage, but I wouldn't say they're a. It's not like Sanguinary Guard. They're not going to jump in and like kill an entire squad of stuff. Even if you had 10 assault marines, you wouldn't do that. I've totally maxed out my elite slots. Yeah, I mean, if you've totally maxed out your elite slots, then assault squads is your option, right? It's either that or like plasma inceptors or attack bikes or something like that, which are decent choices as well in their own right. Could you add more vets in combat squad them? Yeah, I mean, if you're not running 10 vets, that's an option, right? Run more vets and they can obviously combat squad. Since the changes, I've used some assault marines and found that they often do the same job as Vanguard vets for a fraction of the price. They're a good unit to initiate trading with. Okay, there you go, DTM has spoken. What marine faction are you playing, DTM? Sure, I've asked you this before. I'm just giving some of this Viston Red a second coat, because I don't think I'd given it a second coat before. It definitely looked patchy in places. And some of these gems look like the paint's flaked off a bit as well from touching them, so. JF says, hello, my first tournament today and I used Outriders, but they didn't seem too great. I like that they're tough though. Opinions on Outriders. They're not good for Blood Angels. They don't do any damage. They have some damage when they charge, JF, but they fall off super hard and they're only charging with chainswords, so I just would avoid running them, period. I have 6 of them and they've sat in a drawer for like, I guess 18, pretty much since they've come out, they've sat in a drawer. They're not, they dropped in points this update, but honestly they're not great for Blood Angels. They're good for other chapters like White Scars. They're not good for us. You like that they're tough. I mean, sure, they are tough, but like if you have a jump unit that can obscure itself, then it doesn't need to be tough because the enemy can't see it, so they can't shoot it. I think you're better off with Vanguard Veterans and or Sangre Guard over Outriders. I think they can do the same thing. They can pretty much move just as effectively, and they're just going to do like way more killing. But yeah, I ran Outriders a few times when they first came out, and when they first came out they're only 40 points per model, whereas like now, even with the recent drop, they're 45, because for some reason they put them all the way up to 50. Then they started dropping them back down. But even at 40 points, I kind of didn't rate them. I didn't think they were great. Maybe if the sergeant could take a thunderhammer or something, I could be on board with them, but the fact it's just chainsword attacks and like twin bolt gun shots, it's a lot of points to pay for some chainswords. Good evening, Steve Best. How are you doing? Vanguard Veterans do indeed have melta bombs, yes. I believe tactical squads have melta bombs as well, but I mean, I don't think anyone's running tactical squads for melta bombs. They aren't as durable as you think when you could take Death Company Marines. Yeah, I mean, when you think of it that way, Death Company are what, 18 points per model, you give them a jump pack, what are they, like 21 points per model, so you could take 2 Death Company Marines for the cost of 1 Outrider. I mean, like, yeah, a death company can't perform actions, sure. But I mean, that's arguably just as good survivability because of the death company's 6 that feel no pain, and then you're going to be able to obscure the death company, and you're also going to be able to give them some useful weapon options, and they're not going to fall off nearly as hard. My problem, like, the way that I look at Outriders, and I remember doing the maths, I haven't done it in ages, but I think after they've done their initial turn of charging, they only have 10 attacks. So you're paying like 135 points for 10 chainsword attacks. It's just average at best. If anything, it's average, and honestly, it's probably below average. Like, you're not doing that much killing with 10 chainsword attacks. Outriders are another target from a Sangre Priest. I mean, they are, but if I was going to res a model, I would much rather res like a Sangre Guard or something than an Outrider. I mean, I think regular attack bikes with multi-meltas are better than Outriders. Sure, they're a little bit more expensive, but like, they could actually kill things. I don't think there's... Outriders to me feel like they're sort of like an engage on all fronts type unit, but like 135 points for engage on all fronts. Ugh. You do indeed pay points to take Death Company now. If you didn't know that, you've been out in the hobby for a fair while, James. Good evening. Is anyone running Relic Terminators? Asked Douglas. We talked about them a little bit earlier in the stream, Douglas. I don't think they're bad. I would probably aim to either give them Lightning Claws or Chain Fists. I think that's your two best options. Now, this guy's starting to look a little bit meaner. Outriders are just one of those models that need a refresh. I think you want the combi bolters on them. I think you probably want like a mix of Chain Fists and Lightning Claws, and I think you do want the combi bolters. Any general advice for playing Imperial Guard? Yeah, I mean, anything that gives you more movement is going to be useful. And then, yeah, you're going to want something that can blend out infantry. So if he's got a lot of guardsmen, like, screening his tanks, you want something that can kill a bunch of guardsmen so your other units can get to the tanks, like your Sanguine Guard or whatnot. I haven't played Guard in forever. Yeah, I think you could. I think personally, I'd probably take a couple of Chain Fists. I like what DTM said, but I think I would run like 2 Chain Fists, just because you never know what you're going to go into. I like to have my units be quite versatile, so like if I come into, so I can basically fight into anything and not have to be like, oh crap, they've got such and such. I didn't think of any counters to this. Shame they're not. they might. I mean, they might get good JF. They're not. Yeah. I think other chapters can make them do like their chain swords have 2 damage and stuff, and like unfortunately for Blood Angels we just don't have any of that. I mean, you could run them as a tough unit to do maybe some actions and engage in all fronts or something, but like they're I don't see them for Blood Angels. They really struggle to kill things, and we usually want to have our units in combat killing things. So for me, Outriders are a bit of a letdown. Last time I played against Guard, it was my very first game of 8th edition. I think I played Guard once in 9th. And it was like a 9 tank list or something. So the plan was to try and to make some holes in their lines so I can get into combat with them as quickly as possible. Because I mean, when they get shooting, they can do a lot of damage. But yeah, punching a hole through their lines and then just getting into their tanks is going to be the way to win the game, probably. And the other way is going to be win by using your obscuring terrain to your advantage, I guess. You know, if they can't see you, they can't shoot you. Thousand Suns can't damage the new 2+ AOC Lemon Russes. Can you not smite them to death? Or it just takes too many smites? How many wounds they got? Like 12? Hey Jeffrey, thanks for tuning in. I am actually only going to be live for like 10 more minutes probably. It's like 10 to midnight here. But I'll be live tomorrow night as well for the army list show. We had like 7 or 8 armies submitted this week, so we should have a good should have a pretty good show tomorrow night, I guess. Hopefully, I guess we'll see if the armies are. Some people said last week a lot of the competitive armies we're seeing of Blood Angels are kind of similar at the moment, so I guess we'll find out tomorrow if we're looking at a lot more similar stuff again, or if we've got a bit more variance. People are always going to gravitate to, you know, the units that get pushed down in points cost that they know and love, i.e. Sanguinary Guard, and just, I'd say to a lesser extent, Eliminators. We did see a lot of people pick up Eliminators. I started just a few weeks ago playing Redemptor Dreadnoughts again, because I hadn't played Redemptor Dreadnoughts since before Armour of Contempt, and I think Redemptors are pretty good. You know, they did go up 10 points, but I guess when you factor in Armour of Contempt, they're more survivable than they were, right? Like, because one of the Achilles heels of the Redemptors, I think, was like you would go into Dukari, for example, and they would have like tons of blasters and dark lances, and your Redemptors are only saving against like the blasters on 6s, and you're getting no save against the dark lances. Well, now you've got save against the dark lances, and your blaster save's a little bit more reliable. So I've only played the Redemptors twice since Armour of Contempt, but that last game, one of them was pretty much unwounded. It was on foot. It only lost. The only wound it had lost was because I'd rolled a 1 for one of the plasma cannon shots, so it had taken its own mortal. But like, that Redemptor Dreadnought did a ton of work. It was killing things all over the map, and like I said, it was pretty much uninjured. I had to mortal wound a Lehman Rust to death. Smite only has 18 inch. I thought Thousand Suns could increase the range of their psychic powers. Good evening, Dirty Wizard. Thank you so much for hanging out tonight. Hopefully we'll catch you tomorrow night for the Army List show. If not, I'm sure we'll catch another show. I should be able to stream next Saturday night as well, so shouldn't be a problem. Missed a couple of Saturdays, but you guys straight away came back with a couple of new members tonight, so that's awesome. New members are super appreciated. I do really appreciate it. You know, there's something very satisfying with painting Death Company. We're going to need a bit of a tidy up as well, but... Oh, you're welcome, Chris. Hopefully you got what you needed. I'm going to grab some Screamer Pink. Pearls have been 7 hours across the warp. 7 hours. You must be West Coast America? Or middle of America. Central America, I guess. Tennessee. I'm gonna have to 6 hours. Okay. I was gonna say I've never been to Tennessee. I've been to quite a few places in America. My father used to have a house in America, so we used to vacation to America a lot. Once I get a little bit further with these colours, I'm going to start edge highlighting these guys, but that's definitely not, I feel like that's not going to be, well, it's definitely not going to be tonight. Maybe by next Saturday night I'll be ready to edge highlight one of them or something. This channel is the only 10 I see. I actually don't. Oh, the only 10 I see. Okay, yeah, kill me now. I was going to say I don't get it. I get it now that I read it out loud. That was a good one, DTM. That's a proper dad joke. Quite a lot of people tuning in from America. That's cool. I'm going to be saving to take my kids to America as soon as I possibly can. I recently got the Space Hulk Blood Angels box for a pretty decent price. I'm excited to paint them. I've been looking for that Space Hulk box I don't know if, like, over here I think it's about $200 if it's unopened. There's a GT going on right now in Texas. Nice. Hi from London in Canada. Always confuses me when they name the city the same. Like, I guess they did it right with New York, right? Because there's a York in England, and then there's a New York in America. Shouldn't it be named? No offense to you, if you. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of London. Every time I've been there, it's been very smoggy and. If you're in London, you're going to hate me for saying that. But yeah, I mean, I live in the middle of nowhere, so we're very spoiled with the air quality, and there's no pollution, and etc, etc. So, like, surely in Canada, shouldn't they have named it New London, or am I'm just wrong? What's the worst matchup at the moment for Blood Angels? Oh, good question. I think Sisters is going to be a nightmare for us. Tyranids were a nightmare, but they've been scaled back quite a bit, I guess. What is the worst matchup? What do people think is the worst matchup? Reziel thinks Sisters. Alright, cool. So I was maybe on point, because Reziel knows what he's talking about. Anyone else got a worst matchup idea right now? Death Guard is still tough? Nah. Death Guard are not. They're not tough. Necrons? I mean, Necrons have got buffed a lot. Yeah, I haven't played against them though, so I don't know how good they are since they got buffed, I guess. I do have a friend that I bring on the channel now and again that plays Necrons, so maybe I can try and try and get him on sooner rather than later. If you guys think that Death Guard are the toughest, or if you think they're tough in general, you need to watch. Like, I just took them like 94 to like 30 at a tournament. Like, most of Death Guard are really slow. I don't feel like they're a tough matchup at all. Salamanders are pretty tough. Silent King buffs himself. Yeah, I mean, those points are valid. Sisters out trading us is something I'm very scared of. Zephyrim have -4 AP if they're Bloody Rose as well. And they can guarantee their charge with the Miracle Dice, right? So that, I think that's very scary for us. Alright, well that is going to be the end of the stream, guys. Thank you so much for watching tonight. We'll be back tomorrow night about 9:30 UK time for army list reviews. And if you want to submit an army list, then come hang out tomorrow and we can talk about how you can submit your list for review on the stream in the near future. So that's what we do every Sunday. Alright, I made some progress on this guy. We'll get there. We'll get there. I've got 3 more hammers to do. And I got edge highlighting to do, so eventually they'll look something like this. The edge highlighting is going to be a bitch. But it is what it is. Alright, enjoy your evening, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the stream, and I will see you tomorrow night by the blood army made strong. Peace.